Now, NBA fans love to put an asterisk on everything.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So-and-so wouldn't have happened if so-and-so didn't happen. Now, obviously, we know that's the way of the world. The butterfly effect is alive and real. But if we're looking at it realistically, every single championship could have an asterisk on it. I'm going to go through every single champion since 2000 and tell you what their asterisk is and why they could have been lucky in winning their championship. Before we get into it, it's 2026. Man been here for ages. Just press the subscribe button, please. So first things first, we start off in 2000. The 2000 champions are famously the beginning of their three-peat, the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, the biggest challenge to their title-winning success was undoubtedly the Portland Trail Blazers, two Western Conference teams going head-to-head in the Western Conference Finals. In Game 7 of that Finals, the Portland Trail Blazers were 15 points up against the Los Angeles Lakers, and they choked away that 15-point lead. So realistically, you could say the Lakers only win a championship because the Portland Trail Blazers collapsed. Any other circumstance, the Lakers aren't your champions. Now 2001 is a bit different because the Lakers were undoubtedly dominant. I mean, they went 15-1 in the playoffs. They were clearly one of the best teams in the NBA. But the problem is they faced in the NBA Finals a pretty underwhelming Philadelphia 76ers led by Allen Iverson. But the question is, did that team end out the best team in the Eastern Conference? No, they weren't. And that comes down to their matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks had Sam Cassell, Glenn Robinson, Ray Allen, one of the best shooters ever. And this was a team that could, band for band, have matched up pretty well against the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, in that series, the Milwaukee Bucks shot 120 free throws. But the 76ers, even though they had a lot more perimeter players as well, shot a whopping 186 free throws. The Bucks had 12 flagrant fouls and the 76ers only had 5. But we know that the 76ers had a lot of physical players. Dikembe Mutombo down low. Like, even Ray Allen coming out of the series said the league naturally would rather see Philadelphia advance. I think we're not the team that's expected to reach the NBA Finals. They wanted to see it. They wanted to see the champions against the MVP. MVP Shaq against MVP Allen Iverson. They wanted to see fireworks. It was all written in the stars, to be honest. Now, 2002 is one of the worst officiated games we've ever seen in the history of basketball. Now, the Lakers shot 27 free throws against the Sacramento Kings. The Lakers shot 27 free throws against the Sacramento Kings in the fourth quarter alone in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. This was a game that the Kings were playing pretty well until it came down to crunch time and the officials just gave superstar foul after superstar foul. This could have been a finals we've seen the Kings. Who would have thought we'd ever say that? But this could have been a final we saw the Kings come in. Are the Lakers lucky to have even three-peated at all? Now we've got another Kings one in 2003. Obviously, we know we had the San Antonio Spurs, the beginning of not even the beginning, just one of the championships in the dynasty of Greg Popovich. But the best team in the league was once again the Sacramento Kings. Chris Webber was one of the best players in the league. And then in the second round of the playoffs, he blew out his knee, and that was it for the Sacramento Kings. And the Spurs were lucky. They never had to fight against that Sacramento team to go on their way to championship victory. 2004 is what people call one of the greatest championships ever because nobody expected the Detroit Pistons to come out with a win. Nobody expected the Detroit Pistons to make the finals, let alone even beat Los Angeles Lakers. But when they got to a finals, they got to an LA in turmoil, playing against a team that had Kobe, Shaq, Karl Malone, Gary Payton. But the two biggest superstars on that team were not getting along. They were actively feuding, and when you have a team that hasn't got chemistry, you're not going to end up with a championship. And so the Detroit Pistons ended up winning. Shaq and Kobe on the same page. Do the Pistons come anywhere near winning? Don't think so. In 2005, we saw another championship from the San Antonio Spurs. But this season, we saw a revolutionary offense. We saw the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns come in and change the game of basketball completely to something more of the modern style, something we see more today. We saw more perimeter centric. We saw more pick and roll play that could end up in a three-point shot, that could end up with a long two. It was one of the greatest revolutions we've ever seen. And part of that revolution was Joe Johnson. Now, Joe Johnson was the best perimeter defender on that team, obviously. The guard being Steve Nash. People are going to walk past him. So, Joe Johnson would have been guarding Manu Ginobili in that series. But Joe Johnson in the second round against the Dallas Mavericks fell on his face and ended up suffering an orbital fracture, missing the beginning of the series against the San Antonio Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. Now, Manu Ginobili, not being guarded by Joe Johnson, managed to shoot 59%, averaging 22.2 points per game. Incredible efficiency on a good scoring numbers in 2005, especially, where people aren't scoring above 25 points per game if they're elite scorers, let alone if they're off the bench producers. So Manu Ginobili was free to score at will, and they ultimately ran the Suns off the floor. Suns could have won a chip. Now, I love me some Dwayne Wade. I love the Flash. I love Miami Heat, to be honest. I love the culture that exists in Miami. But Dwayne Wade shot 97 free throws in the finals. 97 against Dirk Nowitzki. 9-7 free throws just for one player. That's an absurd number, especially in this era. And so even Mavs fans to this day claim that the officiating was rigged. Big asterisk. 2007, another big series in the Western Conference Finals. The Spurs up against the Phoenix Suns. And Robert Horry hip checks Steve Nash. This is an undeniably fantastic offense. You know, this is their point guard, their leader, which leads to Amari Stoudemire, Boris Diaw going for fights, leading to suspensions, leading to another Suns loss against the Spurs. Now, if Robert Horry doesn't do that, do they end up suspended? Do the Spurs end up winning? You know, because Boris Diaw and Amari Stoudemire, two completely different players. Amari Stoudemire is incredibly important to that Suns offense, and without him, I'm just saying. Now, 2008 comes down to injury ultimately. And in the NBA Finals, it was the Boston Celtics against Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe's Lakers against the Big Three in Boston. And the Big Three played physical basketball with Paul Pierce scoring a perimeter and everything else being down low. Obviously, Ray Allen can shoot as well. And ultimately, the Lakers were without Andrew Bynum for the NBA Finals, a man who averaged 13 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks in the NBA that season. And they've had to start Chris Mim in the finals. And Kevin Garnett bullied him. Kendrick Perkins bullied him. It ended up bully ball down low, and the Celtics won a championship. Another big asterisk. I mean, even so, we saw Manu Ginobili get injured for the Spurs, and without Manu Ginobili, the Spurs lost to the Lakers heading into the NBA Finals. So Spurs against the Celtics, maybe that's a better matchup. They could handle the defense and score, and they could D up. Spurs had their number. Celtics ended up against a weakened Lakers. Celtics won. It's another asterisk. 2009 is another Kobe year, so I hate to do him like that. But yeah, Kevin Garnett ended up going down for the season 2009, so the Lakers just ended up having to play against the Orlando Magic. We saw Bron fumble. They ended up not really playing a good team in the finals. Ended up playing a team that had no real proper playoff experience. Asterisk. 2010, another Kobe year. Now the Celtics did make the finals because they were fit this year, except in game 6 of the finals. Game 6 of the finals, Kendrick Perkins tore his MCL, the starting center on this team that had won a championship before. They lose their starting center. Kobe wins game 7. It's game over, and a big asterisk for Kobe Bryant. 2011 is the one where I struggled to find an asterisk. They beat some big teams to end up in the NBA Finals, and the only asterisk I can really give is it wasn't even really amazing defense on LeBron in this NBA Finals. It was just LeBron had a really bad series. LeBron has anyway half decent series, and it's a game, the Dallas Mavericks against the Miami Heat, but didn't have a good series at all. Now 2012, LeBron James' first championship, but, big but, it was a lockout season. It was a condensed season, and it favoured the younger Big Three team over some of the veteran teams out there. Condensed season, couldn't really get into the season. Only 66 games in the regular season, and ultimately a Miami Heat championship with an asterisk. Now, 2013 is also a pretty difficult one to try and put an asterisk on. Obviously, LeBron winning a championship, the Miami Heat up against the San Antonio Spurs, but I can find a way. Heading towards the end of the game with 30 seconds left, the Spurs were 5 points up. Kawhi Leonard misses a big free throw. Tim Duncan is out of the game at this point. Tim Duncan has been taken out because Greg Popovich has thought he has won the game and he doesn't want to attack his player. Personally, I say keep your best players on the floor, but Tim Duncan out the game. LeBron shoots a three. Chris Bosh wins the rebound, where undoubtedly Tim Duncan's on the court. He probably wins that rebound over Chris Bosh. Pass out to Chris Bosh. Bosh saves LeBron's legacy. With Tim Duncan on the floor, the Spurs probably hold out to win. Asterisk on your head again, LeBron. 2014, last year of the Miami Heat. They don't win this championship, but they're up against the Spurs once again. And I'm not sure if you knew, but in the AT&T Arena at that exact moment in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, there is crazy air conditioning leading to LeBron cramping up in Game 1, and the Spurs go straight into a 1-zip lead. If this series starts off 1-zip to the Heat, who knows how this ends? Asterisk. 2015 Golden State Warriors, one of the best teams we've ever seen, but they get to an NBA Finals and they face the Cleveland Cavaliers of LeBron James by himself, an injured Kyrie Irving, an injured Kevin Love. So the Cleveland Cavaliers is out their second best player and their third best player. If they're all there, who knows? Do the Cleveland Cavaliers come away with the win? Or is it just another asterisk championship for the Golden State Warriors? 2016, I don't want to hate on it too much. 3-1 comeback, the only one in the history of the NBA Finals. But Draymond Green getting suspended began the 3-1 comeback. And if Draymond Green doesn't get suspended, if LeBron James doesn't campaign for Draymond Green to get suspended, is it another loss for LeBron and a taint on his legacy? Who knows? Now in 2017, we know the Golden State Warriors came away with the win, absolutely destroying the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. But I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is Zaza Pachulia injuring Kawhi Leonard in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. And we saw, before he got injured, what was going on. The San Antonio Spurs were absolutely destroying the Golden State Warriors up until Kawhi Leonard got injured. So, in a way, the San Antonio Spurs probably could have made an NBA Finals. 2018, another asterisk win for the Golden State Warriors. The Houston Rockets came up against them in the Western Conference Finals and were 3-2 up before Christopher Emmanuel Paul, one of the best point guards, one of the best point guards in the league at that point, gets injured. And then Golden State Warriors win a game, make it 3-3, and in Game 7, the Houston Rockets missed 27 straight three-pointers. Now, if they have their floor general on the court, if they have their true point guard on the court, do they have to shoot 27 three-pointers? Do they make the NBA Finals? Who knows? Now, 2019 is pretty easy. We know the Golden State Warriors are one of the best teams ever, but they lost Clay. They lost KD. A healthy Warriors team genuinely probably wins the series in 5. And let's not talk about Kawhi Leonard traveling for that game-winning shot against the Philadelphia 76ers. He just basically runs across the court and nobody says anything. Asterisk. Now we have the bubble championships in 2020. People call it a Mickey Mouse ring. I wouldn't go that far, but it did favour the veteran teams. It did favour LeBron. They did get a 4-month layoff for them to be able to recover, to come back in and effectively play their last few in-season games and then win a championship or go on into the playoffs. And different people react differently to the bubble. You can't throw them in a new environment and say this is the same environment as a normal NBA environment. They're used to the fans, they're used to the crowd, they're prepared for the NBA season going in knowing they have a crowd. We know a player like Paul George. Paul George came in, bubble environment, not for him at all. But LeBron James, when he can focus on basketball only, apparently that makes him better. Asterisk on your head, LeBron, you're a fraud. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks in 2021, the NBA Finals, I can't really talk about it. It was a good NBA Finals performance. Really one of the best NBA performances we've ever seen from a player in Giannis Antetokounmpo. But the issue we face here is the Conference Finals, where the only thing that made Giannis go through to the finals is because KD was exhausted in overtime and he would have won the game had he not worn a size big. He bought size 15, brother. Just wear size 14s. You would have got another chip by now, Mr. Kevin Durant. And other than that, obviously, Kyrie was injured. James Harden was injured. James Harden played a little bit in the playoffs. Kyrie didn't play a little bit in the playoffs. Had the big three played, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I believe they would have won a championship, because when they played together, it was absolute cinema. 2022, we had the Golden State Warriors win, and their toughest matchup for me across the entire NBA calendar was the Memphis Grizzlies. But Ja Morant goes down in the second round. Easy games for the Golden State Warriors. And yeah, I guess that's the only thing I can do. I mean, it's really, I'm being real, it's really hard to put an asterisk on 2022. It was Steph Curry dragging his team through the mud to win. Sorry, it's an asterisk, but it's an I guess asterisk. 2023, I love Nikola Jokic, everybody knows that. But in the first round, he played against the 8th seed. Obviously, he's going to play against the 8th seed. Then he played against the 4th seeded Phoenix Suns. Then he played against the 7th seeded Lakers. Then he played against the 8th seeded Miami Heat in the finals. He didn't play a seed above the 4th seed. At least on your side of the bracket, play a team above the 4th seed. But in the entire playoffs, that's unheard of. To play the 8th seed in the NBA finals doesn't happen at all. Asterisk. Now, the Boston Celtics, one of the best championship teams I've seen in a while, to be honest. But they faced the Miami Heat team without Jimmy Butler. They faced the Cavs team without Donovan Mitchell or Allen. They faced the Pacers team without Tyrese Halliburton. How many injuries are you going to get? Like, everybody was just getting injured. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, asterisk. And finally, we have the OKC Thunder. Game 7 of the NBA Finals, we all saw what Tyrese Halliburton was about to do. We all saw how he started that game. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So we can't now say if he was fit, what would have happened. Personally, I was watching that game. I was in DC. I was in America watching that game. And it looked like he was about to do the unexpected thing of all unexpected things. But then he obviously torn his Achilles. Still injured right now, and the Oklahoma City Thunder come away with a championship. What can I say except asterisk? So yeah, that's an asterisk on every single team. I think I've been recording here for about half an hour. An asterisk on every single team since 2000. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you think that I'm chatting was. Let me know if you think I know what I'm talking about, because I do know what I'm talking about. Everyone that's subscribed here knows I know what I'm talking about. And if you're subscribed, you know what I'm talking about too, because you man are all ball knowers too. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, people, and I'll see you man in a bit. Boom.